Morena, good morning from Aotearoa, New Zealand, at the bottom of the earth and well located for what we're working with today when it comes to Kundalini Awakening, the theme of personal and planetary Kundalini Awakening that is unfolding in this turning over of time by fire, at this turning of time of purification. On this full moon in Sagittarius, and what's really interesting is the moon is full in Sagittarius in both tropical, Western, and sidereal astrology today. Different degrees, but it's still falling under Sagittarius. And in the north, it's often referred to as the strawberry moon or the mead moon, the moon of honey wine. So that could be why my bee wanted to join our journey today. So let us begin by going through the alignment process together and see what wishes to unfold through our fields today. Aligning physical, mental, and emotional bodies. With all-pervading soul or higher self. And monadic galactic self. Remembering to engage sound, breath, and movement at any time you feel that it may support this process of alignment. As we activate the Earth Star 1 foot, half a meter beneath the feet, and connecting through the divergent meridians of the planetary body. The Rios de Luz, light, agua, water, fuego, fire, and oro, gold, and the mineral and crystal kingdom. And inviting up those platonic solids, the building blocks of creation and their purity and infinite potential up through our unique pillars to cleanse, clear, and purify. Rejuvenate, regenerate, and recalibrate. Re-energize and vitalize. All the way up to the soul star, 1 foot, half a meter above the head, and connecting with that part of ourselves that resides outside of time, our celestial and extraterrestrial nature, and inviting it down through our pillar to mix and mingle with the terrestrial elemental structure of our physicality. Surrendering through the core of Source in the heart of Gaia, where the new true earth architecture emerges, that is not outside of self. And as we surrender into this architecture, know that we are held and supported by the frequency of the unified field. And that all we encounter and all who we meet are supported by this field when we are anchored through it. Surrendering through the core of Source in our own heart spaces. And inviting our hearts to open to their infinite potential. Surrendering through the core of Source in the heart of the Sun. And in the heart of the great central sun. And activating our solar discs, personal and planetary. Surrendering through the core of Source in the heart of the moon. And in the heart of Gaia, as parts of which are embedded in the African continent, the original moonscape, and activating our lunar discs within and without. And surrendering through the core of Source in the galactic center into Homo Universalis and our ancient future self, wherever that is located within your system, be it through the umbilicus or through the third eye, our gateway to God, all-seeing and all-knowing. Let us inhale and exhale with sound as we strengthen and fortify our own unique pillar. Inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen and fortify our own pillar and the place on the planet where we stand, honoring the guardians of this land. And inhaling, exhaling the sound as we connect our pillars around and through the planetary body. Remembering the uniqueness and the power of our own song, soul, sound, and signature as a tool for our own coherence and calibration and clearing, and to support others. And as we align, we offer ourselves in service to the greatest good of person, people, and planet in accordance with the divine plan and divine will. In right relationship with our physical bodies and human experience. And infused with health, wealth, and abundance into overflow. Kindness, empathy, compassion. Conscious community, deep intimacy, and love. Authenticity, creativity, synchronicity. And play, passion, and pleasure. As we also connect with Olga, who is with 3 other guardians in Alsangati, in the mountains of Peru today, weaving with us from the Apus of the Andes. As we connect with those who are unable to join us physically today, and those that will listen to this replay. So that the keys and codes from this experience may be shared with all who are ready to receive. As I pass you over to Casey.
Thank you, everyone. We are going to stay in this unified field, connected through our consciousness fields. We are connected as one at this time. We wish to welcome into the field those higher beings of the light councils that wish to be present with us on our journey today. Understanding that we are part of the biggest picture, that the changes that we are seeing on the earth are the changes that have been spoken about for eons of time. And the rumbles and the quakes are part of the evening out of the vibration field as Gaia is moving and shifting back in accordance to where she is supposed to be in the cosmic field. That is part of the connection field of the great suns, part of the solar flares, that she feels their massive codes coming in, receives them on her tectonic plates, and reverberates out. We are coming back into sync, back into harmonic. We are waking up at this time. You might have noticed the great volcanoes awakening. This is in accordance for what is happening next. They are giving off a great show as they come back into alignment. The grid for which they are connected is still working out the kinks. The master switch has yet to be turned back on, allowing them to flow in full alignment with one another. Right now, they are shooting off fireworks, individually working. They are not yet in pulse with one another. This is part of the work going forward. It's in tandem with the oceans, with the great waterways, the ancient waters coming back online and opening up, restoring the codes that are hidden underneath the earth, reawakening to the most ancient timelines, but back to their purity state. Each one of you carries a code that is important at this time. This is why you are awake now. As the earth shifts and moves, you will begin to remember. You cannot shake off these codes. They are part of who you are. The bigger the vibration coming in through the atmospheric space, the more it will reawaken you to who you really are from lifetimes ago, from your original connection to source, and from your planetary bodies, your origin stars. You are part of Gaia, yet you are part of the stars as well. It is the reassemblance of both of these codes together that allows the soul journeys to go forward, that allows Gaia to step back into her place in the highest vibration for which she is most comfortable. It is this higher consciousness field that we tap into at this time. This allows the remembrance to come forward as well. The unified field, the heart field. This expanded field that allows our light bodies to turn on. That the deep fire within ourselves can be reawakened. That our channels can be opened. This is most easily done when you are connected to Gaia herself. Feet on the ground. Receiving those solar codes daily. Moving your bodies, feeling your bodies, being anchored in your physical bodies. This is why we are in circle today. As we awaken, Gaia awakens. It is part of our contract with her. We welcome you to step back into the field at this time, stepping back into our individual places in the circle, allowing more information to come in. We invite you to find a deeper connection with your physical body in this journey today, or in this year, or in your 7-year cycle. It is important that if we are on a human journey, that we are embodied, that we choose this. It is time to take up space. Connect back in. It is time to turn on. Stepping back from the field at this time, we will connect a little bit to our bodies. Breathing deeper into our human vessels, allowing this expanded field to be with us as we begin our journey today. When you are ready, we're going to add some gentle movement to our feet, wiggling our toes, feeling yourself connected wherever you stand on the earth plane. Breathing deeper into ourselves. And when you are ready, choosing to come all the way back in, opening your eyes and beginning the journey today.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Casey. And welcome to this turning over of time of fire. The Bible refers to the great flood. The last great turning over of time on our earth was one of water. This is one of fire. And fire is one of the great elemental powers of purification, often referred to as walking through the burning ground to burn away all that is not of our soul essence, all that is not true. And during this turning over of time of fire, we've been working a lot with the volcanoes for the last 2.5 months now, from the time of the pilot light going back on in Antarctica and igniting up through Antarctica, through South America, Central America, and up into North America. And we got to the top up by Alaska and the Bering Strait recently, and we've started to come down the other side now. And it's really interesting, the pieces of the puzzle that have been emerging through that process. One that I worked with Olga just recently was between Korea, Taiwan, and Japan, and it was a clearing that was reinstating the potential of divine union once again, within and without, was caught up in that triangle. So it was a very important piece to bring into coherence in order for the circuit to continue down the western side of that Pacific Ring of Fire. And right now we have something like 36 active volcanoes on the Pacific Ring and in the Pacific, which is a lot. Kilauea just erupted for the 24th time on this journey and is slowly and surely filling up the crater over these eruptions. And we also had Etna recently go off in Italy, and much has been moving in Italy recently with a lot of workers, including Raylene and Anna Katrina out there. And I don't know if, Casey, if you have any more you'd like to add to that before we explore more of the Kundalini on a personal level.
Which part?
Of what's been going on in Italy since its eruption and in Rome itself. And with our dragons.
It feels like with Etna, we need to tap into the tectonic plates that are happening over there. That's the bigger picture of what's going on. The dragons have been super present, though. Anna Katrina was doing some big gateway work specifically with the dragons, and I know that she and Raylin are restoring some of the ancient kind of distorted timelines around the history of Rome and some of those sacred places, bringing them back into their sacredness, back into their purity, in order for some of these gateways to be reopened, reemerged. But the dragons are super present with all of this work. There's the human gateways, the stargates, and then there's the dragon gateways that kind of have their own sequencing that wants to come forward. But it's like the floodgates are being opened at this time.
It is, and it feels like there's a changing of the guard going on.
There's a big changing of the guard happening.
Yeah. So the guardians of gateways are changing places in preparation for the next big shift, which feels like it's going to unfold between June solstice, which is really we're coming into the field of now, and September equinox. Is like this, the next 3 month, 90-day cycle is going to be quite it's bringing everything into alignment for the next stage, which was interesting when you were sharing. The volcanoes are going off, they're not yet in alignment, but they're being reactivating into alignment and into aliveness. And that aliveness is what's happening on a human level as well, as the fires start to ignite once more.
There are a lot of galactic guardians in human form that are now stepping into their roles. Like those roles are changing also. It's like handing down from the older generations into those who are just awakening into their specific jobs and titles. That feels like a big shift that's happening at this time also.
It does for a lot of those that are in their 30s now. Then quite naturally and organically coming online as the frequency on the planet shifts. Yeah. Wow. Exciting times we're in. And for those that are new to the field, when we're looking at the human system and the awakening of the fire, the awakening of the Kundalini, it's often to first have a look at the caduceus that's often used in medicine. We have two serpents, the serpent energy, the Idam Pangala, and then the staff or sword through the middle is the Sushuma or the dragon energy. So we are the microcosm of the macrocosm of what is unfolding on the planet, in the planet, and through the planet right now, which means that the Kundalini is going to begin awakening in humanity for those that have prepared, and often for those that have not prepared as well. And it's really important to bring this into awareness, because when the Kundalini awakens, it can be the most incredible, blissful experience, and it can be anything to the extreme of pain, suffering, emotional and mental collapse. So there's a full spectrum of the rainbow of potential of experience, and to be very mindful for ourselves, those that we're journeying with, and in our greater communities as people begin to come online. Because if people have not done any cleansing or purification and preparation, it can be quite cataclysmic for them. And, they can end up in the psych ward if they're in the mainstream matrix and just going to their regular doctor, where they're not actually having a mental breakdown, they're having going through their chrysalis stage of must to be born into something new, and are having a rapid cleansing and purification process. So to have this in our awareness for ourselves and others, and so long as I've been on the path, I've never met two people who have had the same experience during their Kundalini awakening. It's a very unique and individual experience. So ideally, what we wanted to do is to prepare ourselves as best we can for it, prepare our community as best we can for it, and be available for those that are awakening. Because often their families and closer intimate circles and communities will not understand what they're going through because they don't understand it.
It's important to remember that our human bodies hold the cellular memories of all of our lifetimes. So if we haven't taken the process time to know how to clear that properly, all that stuff can come forward during these kind of big advancement times.
Yeah, that's important because there's a lot of people on the personal path who've just been working with meditation, the tools they have, yet haven't yet tapped into their past lives. And those literally can all come up at once as soon as that Kundalini awakens. As soon as the dragon awakens, rises and comes through and does its own cleansing by fire. So prepare ourselves and to prepare our communities as best we can is a vital part to walk in awareness in that field and to know no experience is the same for one and another. My experience, I'll share briefly. I had done a lot of my personal cleansing and purification prior to my experience, which I didn't even realize was my Kundalini awakening at the time because of the way it happened. And it was when I received the second lot of transmissions for Earthwalk. And that was actually in Utah with Toby Christensen, the healing drummer, where he stood over me with a djembe, drumming distortion out while channeling what was coming in. And it came through in two segments. The first transmission reconnected me to the earth and the grid. And when Toby described it, I don't know, I think he said like a 12-foot goddess emerged that anchored you in there. And then I saw you on islands and jungles holding like a survey marker. So then I did the best to try and explain my weird and wonderful life, which I hadn't spoken to many about. And then I went for my date in the Red Rocks of the Southwest, camping in a little car for a month and digesting that before I knew I had to come back for another drumming session. And the drumming session happened just the day before I was due to fly to Kripalu on the east coast of the US for my final master's class in my shamanic red road path of working with the sacred. And when Toby stood over me and drummed and drummed and drummed and drummed, when he stopped, I could hardly breathe, let alone talk. And he sat down and kind of wrapped me up, and I just burst out crying and said, please remind me that I'm human for what just happened. And this is interesting, this wants to be shared here, but anyway, he said, you've just been downloaded the coordinates of 12 ancient future sacred sites on the planet that will require reactivation with the shift. And I was still trying to breathe at the time and wipe my snot and tears away, and let alone digest any of that. But what happened from that experience is I didn't sleep for at least the next 3 days and 3 nights. For what was usual, I'm usually very earthly, physically grounded, rooted in the earth sort of person. I was nowhere near the planet for the next 6 weeks. When I went to Kripalu, I couldn't even get off the lift on the right level for my bedroom, the spa, or the workshop, let alone feeding myself. I was absolutely scrambled. What gets very scrambled is our assemblage point, which Carlos Castaneda refers to as assemblage point. Alberto Viola calls access. And this is the sphere that sits in our system where all our experiences are recorded. Now, when we get very fixed and stuck in our ways, that sphere becomes very fixed somewhere in our field and ceases to move, and we continue to work on autopilot, doing everything the same. This sphere, this recording device, is not meant to be fixed, it's meant to be fluid. And that experience literally blew the ceiling right out of my system and that sphere. My brain didn't work, my mind didn't work, it was completely no mind. And I could answer any question anybody asked me about anything. Because we are literally plugged into the mains, plugged into source of creation. And you didn't have to worry about meditating because literally there was nothing there. Unless there was a question, there was an answer, then nothing. So that was, when I look back on it, my Kundalini awakening. At the time, I didn't know myself. But what I did do is I took myself into nature, into solitude, and gentle exercise and practices to support my body as it recalibrated, as it restructured itself. So, and what happened was I had so much physical energy, I almost took up running for the first time in my life, but I didn't. I jumped on the trampoline, and in so doing, I blew out my L5, which knocked me out of that center channel and flow. And in trying to correct that, I had a chiro overcorrect my axis and put another kink in here. So that took me out, and it's literally taken me 15 years now to work my way through the process of clearing and realigning and clearing and realigning for my system to come back online to the degree it was at that time. So that's just my unique experience. I'm sharing. We can come into our Kundalini Awakening through accident, through NDE, through all sorts of near-death experience, for those who don't know NDE, any sort of way. But when it does, when it happens, reach out to somebody you know and trust for support through the journey. And on that note, I would like to hand us over to Katie and introduce you all to Katie, or get Katie to introduce herself, my beautiful Kundalini yoga teacher here in Aotearoa in Titai Tokerau, who has kindly offered to come in today and take us on a journey of Kundalini yoga.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me here. So yeah, Leanne's just said where I am. I'm in the far north. I've been practicing Kundalini yoga now for 18 years. Pretty much had a daily practice, apart from in the last couple of years where lots of things have been happening and it wasn't really sustaining me in the way it needed to. And so I was bringing in other practices. I think there's something when you've been doing something so consistently, there are times when actually you need something else. But I found my way back in the last 6 months, probably, to doing the daily practice again and realizing how much actually it does help me. But I think I needed that pause to reassess and reconfigure my relationship to Kundalini yoga. One of the processes has been reclaiming my birth name of Katie. So I had kind of, fallen into, I don't want to use the word cult, but the thing of wearing a turban and following the rules. And so I've kind of broken free from a lot of that. So I really honor the Kundalini yoga lineage and I follow the kriyas as they're set out, but I will add in other things as they come to me that I feel that the field needs. It could be that I add in some sound or change the breath work slightly. I also bring in a lot more of the feminine rebound, natural cycles that I've been working on with my Shakti dance practice. So it's not as hard. And we can actually use our innate knowing to bring more ease to some of the practice. So that's kind of where I'm at. Okay. So today we're going to do a kriya for becoming like angels. And it kind of, for me, this practice is one of my favorites to teach. And I guess because it brings in that activation of the breath, brings us into our body. And it also, there's one exercise where we're really grounding into the earth and activating our fire as well. So it kind of encompasses everything. And it was what I was guided to share. So if you want to bring yourself into a comfortable seated position, if you're more comfortable on a chair, you can be on a chair. And we're just going to close our eyes. And bring our awareness to the breath. Just becoming aware of your spinal column, Making sure it's in alignment, that you're just being aware of whether you're leaning forwards or leaning backwards and just coming back to center. And just taking a moment to really ground into the earth, energetic womb space, allowing a spiral down into the earth. Whether you're male or female, you carry that energetic space. And then very slowly bringing your hands up so you're feeling into the subtle field around you. Very gradually bringing your palms towards each other so that we come into prayer pose and just feeling that space, that energy, that connection, the polarity of the left and the right. And as you come together, you bring that union. And you're going to come into the heart center, pushing the thumbs against the sternum, rolling your shoulders back. And we're going to do some chants. So the first chant is Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. And it means I bow to the teacher within. I bow to the wisdom I possess. And we're bringing that forwards in this session. So we'll do that one together first. So I'm going to chant it once, and then if you feel to join after that, you can. Exhaling and inhaling to chant. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And inhaling, exhaling. And we're just going to do a mantra for protection to just really surround the space and the field with that protective energy. It's a little bit more complicated, so I'm going to chant it, and if you want to join in with Name at the end of each sentence, you can. Or if you know the mantra already, then join in. Adungure Name, Jugadgure Name, Satungure Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Adungure Name, Jugadgure Name, Satungure Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Adungure Name, Jugadungure Name, Satungure Name, Sri Gurudev Name. And inhaling and holding the breath. Making sure the throat's relaxed. And exhaling. And releasing the hands down to your knees. And we'll just do some warm-ups. So we're going to do some Sufi circles. So putting your hands on your knees, and we're drawing a circle with the navel point with your belly button. Inhaling as you come forwards, exhaling as you go back. So inhaling, exhaling through your nose if you can. If not, inhale nose, exhale mouth. And then we're going to bring up the hands. So as you come forwards, the palms are coming forwards. Really stirring up the energy. And then changing direction. Inhaling as you come forwards, exhaling as you go back. So it's like you're balancing the world in the palms of your hands. You've got this big sphere. And then gradually allowing the hands to come down to the knees, continuing the movement. One more time. Coming to the center. Exhaling. And inhaling and suspending the breath, just gently. Keeping the jaw relaxed. And exhaling. I'm just going to bring the right hand in front of the face and then up and over. And then the left hand does the same. So it's like we're clearing the mirror in front of us. Inhaling as you lift up, exhaling as you come down. Just two more. And bringing your hands down to your knees and just noticing what you feel in your body. Can you feel the energy moving in your face? Can you notice energy at your lower back? Where can you feel the movement of energy? And then exhaling and inhaling to open the eyes. Okay, so for the first exercise, we're going to be extending our dragon wings or our angel wings. So you're bringing your left hand palm as if you're making an oath, just at the side of the body. See that? So it's coming forwards. And then with the right arm, it's parallel to your shoulder, and we're just going to be making very small movements with our right arm, just patting the air. And as we do this, we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. So a really nice, powerful breath. Inhaling nose, exhaling mouth, closing the eyes. Focusing at the third eye point. Making sure your chest is lifted. Making sure your lower back is nice and straight and protected. Just noticing any resistance. If you feel you need to add in a sound as you exhale, you can. Really drawing on the strength of your upper torso. Use your breath to support you. You have to really dig deep. If it helps, just really feeling that you're being helped in this movement. You have people, angels, dragons, other beings underneath your arms, and they're lifting it up and down for you. And I sometimes find that laughing is a great remedy as well for the tension. So if you can't hold the tension with your breath, hold it with laughter. Last 30 seconds. Almost there. Just noticing what you're feeling, what's arising, and being with it without judgment. Last 10 seconds. And keeping the arm outstretched, stop the movement. Inhale, hold the breath. Exhale, release the hand very slowly down onto your knee. Both hands coming down with the palms facing the ceiling. What can you feel? Can you feel sensations in your palms, in your cheeks? Where are you feeling it? And then wiggling the fingers. And as we have two wings, we're going to do the other side, not for as long. So you've done it once, and together we can do it again. So exactly the same movement. Now your right palm's making the oath, and the left arm is patting the air. Inhale, nose, exhale, mouth. Just being with whatever feelings that are arising. Really asking the body to step up. Activating that fire within you. This movement of the arms is something you really would love to bring into your life. How much are you willing to do to help that to happen? Really powerful breath out through your mouth. Or using sound. Last 20 seconds. How much are you willing to purify? And then stopping the movement. Inhale, exhale, inhale, hold the breath. And exhale and release your arms very slowly down to your knees. Palms facing up. And other than really being able to feel your shoulders, what else can you feel? And then turning the palms over and just beginning to move your shoulders in any way you feel you need to. So really just trusting your inner knowing, trusting your body. How do your wings need to move? Can be slow, can be fast. You can bring in sound. What do you need? Yin, yo. Yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Yeah. Adding in sound if you need to. Yeah. Yeah. Sanaya. And bringing that movement to close. Palms facing the ceiling. What can you feel? And then inhaling, opening the eyes. Okay, so for this next movement, we've got the elbows at the side of the body, and there's like a little shelf there that helps to hold them. And then your arms are over your thighs. So the palms are facing up. That's clear for everyone. Everyone happy with that? Yep. And in this position, we're looking down at the tip of our nose. So this movement stimulates the pituitary gland, the intuition. So looking down, if that is uncomfortable, then just closing the eyes, just really trusting your inner knowing for your body and what you need. And we're going to be inhaling nose, exhaling mouth again, but we're going to do it more rapidly. So a bit like more like this. And when I'm doing that exhale, I'm kind of pushing down and it's kind of creating a circle. So as you're going down with your exhale, on the inhale, you're then bringing the energy back up in a circular motion. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So everyone ready? If we go, looking at the tip of the nose. Follow your rhythm. You might be feeling pain in the chest. That's normal. Keep going. Almost there. And inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, holding the breath. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to engage our anus, our sexual organs, our navel, and engaging those lower muscles. So exhaling, holding the breath and holding those muscles. This is what creates that tension between the prana and the apana, the ability to give and receive, and lifts that Kundalini energy up the spinal column, up the Sushumna. And inhaling and relaxing the posture and just noticing where you're feeling movement, energy, how the field is feeling. And then wiggling the fingers. And now we're going to ground the energy. So if you're sat on a chair, I'd suggest you get a cushion because we're going to be, can you see that? We're going to be hitting the ground. So just finding something so that you don't get sore hands. If you want to get a cushion. And we're going to be chanting the mantra Har, Har. And Har is the creative energy of the universe. It's recognizing that generally we need three things to make things happen. We need something to generate it, something to organize it, something to deliver or destroy it. So we're really connecting to those, like the earth, fire, water, that cauldron of the three, the number three, okay? And you're chanting it from your navel. So this is fierce and powerful. And this is an opportunity to free the body of anything that's stagnant, okay? So really allow that sound to come from deep within you. And we can see what happens. And at the end, just so you know what's coming, at the end, I'm going to invite you to inhale and we're going to squeeze everything. We're going to make everything really tense. And then we'll exhale through the mouth. Okay. And again, that's the prana and the apana, and we're creating that tension between the duality to provoke the union. Okay. Okay. Off we go. So eyes are closed. Har, 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 almost there. Har, 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 har. One more, har. And we're going to inhale, squeeze everything, push into the earth. Exhale, mouth. 2 more times, inhaling. Push down into the earth. One more time. And then we're not allowed to be still or silent. So just any movement, keeping the eyes closed, any movement. And don't be quiet. La 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Yo yo. Bringing that movement to a close. We're going to go straight into relaxation. So if you're able to lie down, lying down, if you're happy to stay in your seat, and we'll just have a very short relaxation to just integrate what we've just done. And then wiggling the fingers and making your way back up. And so we always end with 3 long Satnams, and it's just Satnam. And that recognizes that we all have a unique vibration. Satnam means I am my truth, and our truth is our vibration and our sound current. So we're connecting in with that. Okay, so exhaling and inhaling to chant. Satnam. 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 Peace to all, light to all, love to all. Satnam. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Katie, for that very powerful personal and planetary activation. What a gift. Thank you so much. Is there any contributions to the field or questions for Katie while she is with us? Knowing that you can also contact her afterwards, because we will leave her contact details in the YouTube replay information for you.
Can I maybe just share something that's been coming into my awareness over the last 24 hours, just around the volcanoes as well, and from my own personal experience and journey in the last 2 years, and how the volcanoes are representative of us and of me, so keeping it about me. So I had an incident a few days ago where I was defending something, and it was my truth, and I was speaking my truth, and I was saying a clear no. And at some level, I knew there was more behind my no. There was a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, and but it was like what I feel is that sometimes we hold back. I hold back, or I have done it in the past. I've held back from speaking my truth because of fear of what might happen if I do that. And I think that, just really sharing, it's really important for us all to speak our truth and to be able to be fierce when we need to defend. And that is also love. And I guess for a long time, I didn't realize that I could be fierce and still come from love. And although I was acting from a place of hurt in the moment, it was really important for me to voice that. And then after that person had gone, I just sent them lots of love, and I was like, love you, thank you, please forgive me. But it was also my truth. And so that just really, for me, is maybe the volcanoes are like, it's a representative of us all finding our voice and being able to speak those truths and share more of our stories with each other, because in doing that, we heal each other.
Thank you, Katie, for your contribution. I was just having that conversation the other day. When we come into full alignment through the bodies and integrity and in love and truth, I cannot not speak my truth anymore, because it's so uncomfortable in my physical form if I don't speak the truth that wants to be spoken. But after a rough road to begin with, I've learned to speak that truth through the heart with love and with absolutely non-attachment, which is very, very important. And when we're talking about fierce love, of course, we've got Sekhmet, the lioness goddess of the Egyptian pantheon of the Neteru. And Sekhmet is all about fierce love. And you'll notice in a lot of the Neteru, the netters, which means nature, effectively, we are nature. When nature is in alignment and integrity through our system, the Kundalini awakens, the serpent awakens, and that's why we see a lot of the Egyptian Neteru with the symbol of the sun above their heads, or with the serpent through the middle, or both, for that Kundalini is awakened, which is a reminder that we are preparing for our ancient future sacred journey through Egypt, through the September equinox, with awareness that this, from June solstice through to September equinox, is the preparation for that process and what will come next, which is very exciting. And it does mean paying attention to our personal work during this time, making the most of honoring the standstill of the June solstice as a standing still of the sun. So it is a personal and planetary reset time. So it's a wonderful time not only to do ceremony and honor the seasons and the cycles and sync ourselves with the source of creation, it's also a very powerful time for purification. And I'm particularly getting to do a 3-day water fast for this June solstice, which I would not normally do in winter, but my system is asking for it for whatever is coming next. So listen to your own body and to take care of it as best you can and prepare it for what is to come, because there is a lot of power and power. It's very important that we wield it wisely through the heart and with love. So on that note, are there any other contributions to the field in general anyone may have before we bring closer to our journey today?
Leanne, one quick question. You just mentioned that the Kundalini could be awakened through the connection with the sun. Does that feel true?
Did I say that?
Yeah. I'm fascinated by that because it feels like my soul is like, yes, that's the route
Yeah, it
for
can
my
be.
experience.
It's interesting as you say that, because it reminds me of that time. I don't know, I shared it recently. I don't know if it was on our Guardians call or another one, when I was being called to Yemen and I asked to fly Egyptian Air because I needed to stop, just felt a need to stop in Cairo. And I stopped long enough to get a room in a hotel. But when I walked outside of the airport, it was sunset in Cairo, and I stared into the sun. And it was like staring into the jet engine on a plane with a spiral in it. It started spinning one way, and I was just staring straight into the sun as the spiral was spinning one way, and then it was spinning the other way. And I don't know how long I was there for, but when it completed, the vehicle drove up and I got in and got taken actually to an extraordinary location in Heliopolis next to a temple that was a no entrance zone, but that was connected to it. So to answer your question, yes, as we cultivate our relationship with the sun, the solar deity, within and without, it can support the reactivation or awakening of our Kundalini. How cool. And just also to, when we went through the practice that Katie just took us on, the second to last practice activated my internal pyramid structure, four-sided pyramid. And the final practice activated the mirror image of that beneath me, which was really interesting. And it feels that over the next few days that these two will integrate. So it will be interesting what emerges from that. Any other questions?
I wanted to share something actually about the sun and the Kundalini awakening, because in Egyptian times, like the Egyptian version of tantric practices, you actually, as I remember it, you actually activate the inner sun to actually help the Kundalini rise. So that's that same symbolism, right? That we actually use the inner sun in order to shine down onto the root for the Kundalini to rise. So just wanted to share that.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Yannick. There's also a practice that the kings of Bali are taken through where they eat fire. They literally put steel into the fire to get it white hot and place it on their tongue and eat fire and literally swallow it to ignite the fire, the Kundalini within the belly and the base. And it's one of those that messages that come with a disclaimer, don't try this at home. So yeah, there are many ways we can awaken the Kundalini. Let us do it with care and consciousness, because a lot of the Neo-Tantra field focuses on Kundalini awakening without the support system required if it does awaken, without the consciousness on how to manage it when it does awaken, and without the community in order to support that process. So please be mindful when you play with fire, your own, internally or externally. It is the force of creation. Yes, Katie.
Just to add to that conversation, and in the Kundalini yoga, like you talked about at the beginning with the Ida and the Pingala, it is the fire alongside the so the fire, I guess, would be the inhale, and the exhale would be like the water, maybe. So that balance, that actually that's how you can create the safe Kundalini rising, is that the balance of the sun and the moon energy, because the moon gives you that softness and the sun is the activating, stimulating force. So unless you're doing both at the same time, then that may be where we get those more intense experiences, because there's not the other side to it.
Beautiful. Thank you for that important piece. Well, on that note, thank you, Katie, for this special journey today. Thank you, everybody, for your presence. Thank you to Olga and the ground crew up in Al Sangati today, who were gathered together for the unlocking of a Lemurian crystal that have the technology to support humanity's evolution that was being held and safeguarded until humanity were ready. And as it happens, humanity is now ready. So this too has been opened today during our journey together. So thank you. And as we return fully intact onto the earth plane, I'd love to hand you over to Casey for closure.
Thank you, everyone, for being here in Circle today. Thank you, Katie, for our beautiful embodiment practice. What's coming forward is the importance of choosing to be here now. That visualization of taking an oath, both from the aspect of our soul journey side, and then the aspect of our physical lifetime side, each one choosing to step forward together and saying yes. And by doing so, we reveal the next steps on our journey. We'll give gratitude for the field today, for the seen and unseen supporters that we have surrounding us always. enveloping us with love, encouraging us to take our next steps, encouraging us to embody further, to reach depths that we have not yet reached in our own journeys, in our own seeking of knowledge, in our own journeys back to our soul selves. With so much love and gratitude, we will open up the field, releasing each other from this connection field and stepping into the solidarity of our own unique pillars at this time, anchoring fully into our individual pillars, feeling wherever we stand upon the earth plane at this time, connected to Gaia, and just feeling that connection one last time, remembering that we are always connected to her in our journeys. And when you are ready, we're going to anchor back into our human systems. Feeling your feet, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, breathing deeply into your human systems, giving gratitude for our bodies and our journeys with them. And when you are ready, we're going to choose to open our eyes and come fully back into the space.
Thank you, Casey. And for anybody watching the replay, remember, if you upon your journey, you are finding you do not have the tools to support yourself and need support beyond self, that everyone gathered here upon this journey today are all practitioners in their own right. So please reach out for support if you need it. Journey safely through the midsummer or midwinter, be you in the northern, southern or southern hemisphere, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side in exactly 2 weeks' time, same place, where we will be exploring the alchemy of voice with Talia. So much love, everyone, and gratitude. Aroha nui from Aotearoa until we meet again. See you on the other side of nowhere.